In this section, we're going to graft cucurbits using the hole insertion method. We have here the rootstock, which is a interspecific hybrid squash, and the scion, which is a commercial cantaloupe variety. The advantage of the hole insertion method is that it does not require a clip, and it produces a very strong graft union. The stage of grafting that you need to achieve for cucurbits is the rootstock needs to have the first true leaf about the size of 1 inch, and you'll also want the hypocotyl to be at least 2 inches long. In the scion, you're looking for the first true leaf to be about the size of a grain of rice. In this grafting method, the rootstock needs to be less turgid so that we remove the rootstock from the roots prior to the grafting process and allow it to lose some of the turgidity. This prevents the rootstock from splitting during the grafting process. It now has no roots, but it will be stuck into a soilless mix, and during the healing process it will grow roots. So to cut off the rootstocks, we just want to cut them off at the soil line, again to leave as much hypocotyl as possible. So I'm just cutting them off, putting them in a tray, and you can see the difference in the turgidity between a freshly cut rootstock and one that has been sitting for a while to allow the turgidity to reduce. So here we have the rootstocks that have been cut off and are drying down. We have the tray of the scions ready at hand. We have a scalpel that I'll need to do some of the grafting, and we have a solder tool, which can be also substituted with just simply a chopstick that was put into a pencil sharpener. This is going to make the hole for the hole insertion process. And again, we have some 70% ethanol for sterilization purposes, and of course the water that you need to mist the plants after they have been grafted. To prepare the rootstock for the hole insertion grafting method, we need to remove the first true leaf, and then we need to remove all the shoot meristem and axillary buds that are remaining. We do that with a cut to remove the meristems, scraping the cotyledon to remove the cotyledonary meristems that are there. And then we want to take the grafting tool from the back side of the cotyledon and push it through the stem at an angle to the front side so that you feel the tip of the grafting tool on your thumb, and so that it actually penetrates the stem. And then you want to leave that in so that you have the hole ready for after you prepare your scion. So now we need a scion, and we just get one from the tray, cut it off, bring it over, and we need to make 2 cuts on the scion. We make the cuts about 5 millimeters below the cotyledon. The first cut we make is a very sharp angled cut, and then we rotate the scion 90 degrees to make another very sharp angled cut to result in a very sharp point on the scion. Now you take the scion and insert it into the rootstock with the cut side down. And it's important to have the cut side down, otherwise the scion will tend to form roots inside the rootstock. So I'm simply putting it into the hole that I made and pressing it in so that the tip comes out through the hole that I made in the rootstock. And if you can turn your graft upside down and shake it, and it stays together, and you can see the tip coming through the hole, you've completed your graft successfully. This is a tray of soilless media. It is a very wet media, saturated the day before to make sure that it is good and wet. The grafted plants are simply placed into the cells and misted. and you need to constantly mist the plants as you are putting them into the tray. And again, when this tray is full of plants, it goes into the healing chamber immediately.